Hey, everybody. This week, the discussion question is about social media marketing and how this has changed and continues to change over the years. Um, People will tell you today who have little knowledge in this area. Oh yeah, you just need to make sure you've got your social media marketing because people don't look at newspapers, they don't look at magazines, or they don't look at TV or billboards or anything like that anymore, which in some instances would be true. However, the people who mention that also do not understand the complexities that exist in social media marketing, where if you are unaware of who your target audience is, you can spend money after money after money and get very little results. And so back in the day, when I say that, I mean 20 years ago when my wife and I had our hotel and fine dining restaurant. The amount of social media marketing that's out there was pretty much resident and was just starting with Google search terms, and it was called Google AdWords. And what you would do is you would bid out on search terms that people would use, and it didn't cost you any money unless somebody clicked through that search term to your site. And so those were the things when you used to do Google searches, and you would see at the top of the list sponsored ads. And the first two or three you needed to be because it got 85% of the click throughs. And so at that time, I started bidding out on the search terms for Washington Inn, Washington Hotel, Washington Bed and Breakfast. Um, and there were very few people doing it at the time. So when I first started doing that, it would cost me 10 cents for a click through. And so the click through means somebody's viewing your site. And so you got them. And again, you wouldn't get charged until somebody clicked through to that. And so fast forward about 3 years, so 17 years ago, so 20 years ago when I started to right before we sold the property, the inflation rate, if you will, on those search terms had skyrocketed because more and more people were now aware of Google AdWords. So that gives you an example of what it used to be like. Now, today, you have everything from YouTube to Instagram to Facebook to, I mean, name your favorite TikTok, name your favorite social media piece. And these are places that monetize the advertising on these, and it becomes a significant part of their revenue stream. Um, and they can be effective for businesses, but again, you need to know your target and where they, we'll call it live. Now, live means where do they live online? So, what particular um, uh, if your target is a 30-year-old female, where does a 30-year-old female spend her time online? That could be very, very different, and probably would be, than a 70-year-old. This is where you see, for example, how Facebook has aged out in some of these areas. So if you're looking to reach younger folks, you probably won't go to Facebook. You'll probably go to some other social media spot. So that's one area of where do they live online. The other one is where do they live specifically? And so this is something that for many years I helped the university out with. Is you in essence will put up geo fences, and by geo fences it means people who will, because people web companies know where you're logging in from. They know where you exist, and so we would focus mainly on geofence of starting with Charleston and Charleston County and Dorchester County and those types of things to spend the majority of our money. And then as we wanted to get broader, we would go into other areas in South Carolina and then eventually regionally into southern North Carolina, northeastern Georgia, and so on and so on. But that's where they would physically live, or where they would physically spend the majority of their time, because this would be pinged, if you will, um, off of their cell phone. So the science behind this is incredible, and you need to make sure as you're putting together your proposals and doing other things, that you're taking those types of things into consideration.